Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Hello and welcome into ANF Plus Sports Tonight. I am Ellie Parker, here for the very first time.
Oh my goodness, the maiden voyage. Let's do it.
With Aaron Ladd. This is the first time we're doing it together.
But it's felt like I've known you already so long.
Yeah.
We're both Tigers here. Yep. We're bonding. First admit,
yep,
I'm excited.
Both Mizzou graduates, so we'll definitely have something to talk about.
Auburn.
This football team. Because if you don't know Mizzou football, we can never have nice things for too long.
Always cautiously optimistic is what I like to say.
Optimistic.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic, waiting for the other shoe to drop pretty much at all times. But in this modern day playoff, you can lose a game. So the Texas A&M isn't really.
Hopefully. And then there's basketball, which the other shoe, there is no other shoe to drop because both have already dropped.
Do we still have a basketball team, a men's basketball team?
Not as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, enough about us
bonding
over Mizzou sports.
This is going to be good.
We got to get to some Georgia sports. First up, Falcons Seahawks this Sunday at the Benz. We heard from Jesse Bates yesterday talking about how the defense is going to look at the Seahawks, which has been one of the better offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, they score points. Geno is a guy who likes to spread the ball around. They do score a lot of points and put stress on the defense, which the Falcons haven't played great defense.
No, they haven't.
This can be a good test for them.
5 sacks on the season. That's not spectacular.
Yeah, definitely. 5 sacks, not enough. I mean, you played 6 games to this point, so it's not even a sack per game. And let's hear from Grady Jarrett here because he's kind of the vocal leader on that defense. He's not necessarily a sack guy, but with Matthew Judon there and some other young guys, Ruka Roro, I think I got that. You expect more out of this unit. This is going to be a good test for them, especially along the D-line.
They're a very talented team, a lot of shifts and motions, a lot of skill at every level, and we got to be ready to be prepared for them. They have been on a tough string of games, but all we can do is focus on where we're at, what we're trying to accomplish, and trying to get the next dub. So we're doing what we got to do.
I know you got to deal with up front, but what do you see? We see the Metcalf kid. He's turned into a pretty good player.
Yeah, man, he's been a good player. He's been a good player since he's been in the league. A big, strong receiver, fast, and somebody definitely want to try to get the ball to. And I'm sure one of the leaders on their team, so somebody we definitely got to take into account for, prepare for, and know it's going to be an all-day battle.
Great, I know I asked you last week about it, but where do you think the final inch or step is to just bringing down the quarterback?
It's really just really trusting our training, trusting the process. I feel like we can't go out there and try to force it, and guys playing out of whack. We got to continue to play together, and I truly believe in the things that we're doing, and I think it's going to work. And it's just time for it to happen. And so it's another heightened sense of urgency, but at the same time, it's not a panic button to where you just throw all your training out the window just to try to make something happen. You got to keep pressing, and know that it's going to come through.
You get frustrated though, or is it almost like so much pent up energy? Like you guys can get the quarterback down.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to.
Yeah, as a competitor and somebody who definitely you want to do the best you can, you get frustrated. Everybody who wants to get production on the quarterback, people may want more picks, whatever it may be. You can get frustrated just as a competitor, but you can't let that frustration become something to be discouraging. And so you got to turn whatever frustration you got and put it back into your craft, into your grind, so you can get the results you want.
Is your mom been okay with all that Rockdale stuff with the?
Yeah, she been our house been fortunately good. They smell the stuff sometimes, but some of the closer to the town where the burning stuff happened, it's been they had like shelter in places and stuff like that. And I think Rockdale football team had to miss a couple of games, based off. So I feel bad for them boys having to go through that. It's unfortunate. But yeah, so just something the county going through, and hopefully get that thing figured out. And just unfortunate situation.
Grady, how have you seen Drake London mature over the last few years?
Man, just becoming a man, and I just say that being more mature, what I'm saying, staying patient, continue to work on his craft even when things wasn't going his way, and just being able to answer the call now, and being put in position to make big plays, and he making them. And I'm excited for him, and I just love to see his growth. I love to see his confidence, and I know that the best is yet to come for him. And, with all that being said, nobody got higher expectations for him than himself and what he wants to accomplish. And he got every tool it takes to be a number one receiver, do the things he got to do, and I think he got a great future.
Are you impressed with him as a blocker? Like when you watch him block guys?
I mean, he's gritty, man. He's gritty, So they definitely don't have any qualms about putting him in the mix, And that's what you want from a receiver. You want somebody who want to be out there every down, And that's what he is, every down receiver. And he can stretch the field. He can do the short routes. He can do long routes. He can block somebody. So he wants to do it, And that's just a part of his character.
Brady, aside from obviously wanting to get better at the pass rush, what else are you guys putting emphasis on the defense right now?
Really, just trying to continue to limit big plays. You never want long runs to break out on you or deep long passes. So we always trying to keep the cap on that. But I think the next level is for us to get to the passer and get him on the ground. And and that's just the reality of where we are right now and things we need to accomplish. And I'm sure we're going to, but and being a little more cleaner in some of our run fits, I think we could be better at. But definitely, because the effort is there, the want to is there. Guys know what to do, So it's not a question of talent, effort, or nothing like that. We just got a really execution. It ain't really went on in our favor, but I feel like it is going to.
You guys have been really good at limiting explosives so far this year. What's been behind that, you think?
I think that goes back to preparation and also just executing when the time was called. Because a lot of time these teams do shifts and motions, try to get you out your rules and get people out the gaps, and it can hit a long run or long pass. So being disciplined in our rules for most of the part limits that.
Can I ask you something a little bit unconventional? The way that the Falcons' offense is running some of their plays right now, specifically in the run game, what makes that particularly difficult to defend?
Just because you really don't know where they're trying to attack all the time, and I think it makes it very difficult for players on the field and coordinators to scheme against. Because if you got, say you have to run 11 personnel, but you can do, wide zone, mid zone, you can go to the tight end, away from the tight end. You just can't get a beat to keep them honest. And also, when you got guys receiving the ball like we do, got Kurt that can get the ball wherever on the field, it keeps the box lighter, So it makes it better for them to run the ball. So it all works hand in hand. So I think it's they're doing a great job of putting some stuff together. And those guys they've been grinding out for a long time. Been one of the top lines in the league for last couple of years. So they put a lot on them boys up front, but they can handle it. They ready to rumble with anybody, and it just makes us better on the defensive side, especially going through training camp, training against them. But they're gritty for sure.
Is it at the point, or when is the point when maybe the players need to get together and hold their own meeting? Like if the coach is out and just let's chat about what we need to do.
As far as
like getting after the quarterback more, being more like as a unit, more aggressive, or do you think it's at that point, or have you had that point already?
We spend time together as players, really when things are good, and I wouldn't even say things are going bad. I don't think there's time to hit no panic button or nothing like that because we all on one accord. As far as players and coaches, there's not a gripe in between what's happening, and we all, they want it just as bad for us. We want it for them. We do good, they have more success. We do good. You know what I'm saying? They go hand in hand. So we're trying to figure this thing out together. I don't think it's at a point to where we need to get the coaches out of because that we talk to each other with our coaches all the time. Like to have their own meetings. Like that wouldn't be like a fix-it thing, something we already do, to spend time together and talk about some things that we can work on and be better at. And there's an open form of communication a lot of times. So I don't think that's that sounds more like a panic button type thing. And we playing some good football, and we all figuring out how we gonna get to the quarterback.
As you're preparing for a quarterback like Geno, and you're watching, what he's put on film, why do you think this year is allowing him to have the year that he's having?
Just the experience that he has, the talent that he has, leading the league in passing, and the receivers that he got. He got 3 really good ones, and running backs that can catch the ball. It looked like they put a lot on him. He's has deserved that role that they put him in to be their captain, do what they got to do. So, I mean, he's playing in an earned position. He's highly talented and highly experienced. So, his success doesn't come as a surprise at all.
Anything else? All right.
Atlanta Falcons looking for their first 4-game winning streak since 2019.
These are fun stats to have around Atlanta. After they won last week, it was like first 3-game winning streak since end of 2016. Like, Raheem Morris, he got caught in the locker room saying, "We coming," talking and celebrating with his guys. This would be big for them to continue to stack wins on top of the 3-game winning streak inside the division.
And my God, might Kirk Cousins be worth the money?
I mean,
in the offseason, I was ripping this contract apart because Kirk Cousins did not look like a good quarterback. He's getting older. It's a 4-year contract. It's so much money. And it started out rough.
Pittsburgh was bad. There's
Pittsburgh
no
was
way
bad.
to spin that.
Pittsburgh was really bad.
Yeah.
And now we're here, and it's like, oh, they might have been onto something.
He's a professional. And that's what the offense has kind of lacked over these last few years. No shot at the people who were playing quarterback, but he's a stabilizer. And if he ends up being the bridge quarterback to Michael Penix, he should be remembered positively for that, especially in Atlanta, especially if they can continue to play the way they're playing right now.
And especially in the NFC South, which is turning into a bit of a crab bucket.
The Saints, my goodness.
The Saints, you got the Panthers somehow showing a bit of life with Andy Dalton. And then you have the Buccaneers, especially the Saints and Buccaneers, these two teams.
It's the Falcons in Tampa.
Yeah.
And really we talk about being quarterback league. Those are the two best quarterbacks in the division. Derek Carr, when healthy. He hasn't been healthy this year, so the Saints are going to go through what they're going to go through without him.
And Spencer Rattler did not look good. Let's be real here.
He didn't. No, yesterday was, I mean, if you're a Saints fan, you're going to the game to honor one of your franchise's best player. Like, you're getting Drew Brees running out and honoring him and his legacy. Sean Payton returned to the Dome.
And then you get that.
Yeah, they didn't score a touchdown until garbage time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right, moving to college football. We talked about this yesterday, me and Connor.
Okay.
We're getting robbed because UGA 11 is not traveling to Austin. We are getting robbed of Bull v. Dawg II.
You want that?
Yes.
That scares me.
I want this face-off.
The showdown?
I want the showdown. I wanted it, and we're not going to get it. Now, I understand where the Silers are coming from, the UGA's handlers.
Yeah, can you give me a little bit more details on that? Because I think I saw one quote, but I didn't see the whole thing.
They basically called UGA 11, immature and crazy.
A puppy?
Immature and crazy?
I can't see that.
And that is the thing. UGA 11 is a puppy. Usually, the past few UGAs, when they've started out, have been 3 to 5 years old. They've been a little bit more mature in terms of their age and temperament. And UGA 11, at least according to the Silers, isn't there yet. Kit isn't really in a position to make that trip. Now, an immature and crazy bulldog facing off against a bevo that's going to go, hey,
that seems like
I remember you.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it would have been fun to watch, though.
This reminds me of every parent that's like, I want to go on this vacation, but the kid's not old enough yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can afford to go to Hawaii, but can the kids sit still for 4 hours in the plane? Maybe not the best idea. Do I want to deal with that right now? No. So I'm sure they'll have a tablet up or a screen up, and we'll be watching from Athens.
Definitely. And, I wanted this so badly because obviously, it's been 5 years since that Sugar Bowl. And this moment of Bevo, nearly putting a horn where the sun don't shine on UGA.
On national television.
On national television. that lives on in college football infamy. I want part 2 as a college football fan. I wanted it. I'm not going to hide it.
I wonder what your prediction is for this game, though. A lot of people are...
I'm taking Texas. I keep saying this. We keep hearing from analysts and the college football intelligentsia that, a football team hasn't really, distinguished themselves from the pack yet this season.
Correct.
Wrong. It's Texas.
Is this the win that pushes their resume a little bit further along?
Yes, I think
Okay.
it is. Because it's a top 5 win. Georgia is ranked number 5 at this point.
Yes.
Whether or not they actually deserve to be there or it's just how the cookie has crumbled so far, that is a debate that can be had. But, yeah, I think this is a very good Georgia team, but this is a nearly flawless Texas team. Like, you can't even go, let's just get Quinn Ewers out of the game and hope
Get to their
and
backup.
get to the backup, because the backup is Arch Manning. The backup is the Manning that can run. The Manning quarterbacks can't run.
Here's what I say about Georgia and why I give them a little bit more of a puncher's chance in this one against Texas. Maybe they figured something out down 28 against Alabama. They've looked like a different team,
Yes.
specifically offensively, since that moment. The defense is what's going to worry you in any ball game. But you got a career high in completions and a career high in passing yards last week from Carson Beck. He's clicking.
Now,
They're
granted,
figuring
that
something
was
out.
Mississippi State.
It was, yes. But even since they go down 28-0 in Alabama,
Yeah.
I liked what I saw from them. And that was against what we think is a top-flight team.
Yeah.
Obviously, Texas is a different beast, and you're going into Austin, which is probably going to be the toughest environment in the sport this year. So if you can do it there and you can take this high-flying offense, whatever you figured out on the road, I give Georgia a puncher's chance. I think the line's 3.5. I don't know.
I think the line is fair. I think the line as of yesterday was 5.
Oh, wow.
5, Texas by 5.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's a fair line, but I'm taking Texas here.
That makes 2 of us. Give me the Longhorns. But like I said earlier,
I
2
think it's going
losses
to be a
doesn't
close one.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, 2 losses.
Exactly.
For a team like Georgia, which had the preseason hype, which counts for a lot with the polls, and that doesn't necessarily knock them out of grabbing one of those at-large spots for the college football playoff.
And that would be fun.
Yeah.
Those are home games. You can still have a home game in that second bracket. We gotta just see it. This new playoff, everybody's got their own ideas. You gotta just go through a couple of test runs and we'll see what a two-loss SEC team looks like resume-wise at the end of the year.
Moving to a ACC team that I keep saying might have a chance, especially if they can win this game against Notre Dame. Haynes King is going to make it tough on the Yellow Jackets to win that game. He is out with what Georgia Tech is calling a upper body injury, like he's a hockey player or
So
something.
vague. Yeah, I mean,
He was
come
out.
on.
He went out in the win against North Carolina with, I believe, it was a right arm injury.
Okay.
But he will be out of tomorrow's game, and Zach Pyron will get his 4th start in his career at Georgia Tech. Man is a veteran backup, but he is finally getting the spotlight. And this is going to be a very interesting change for the Tech offense because Pyron has almost exclusively been used to run the football. And this is a Georgia Tech team that currently leads the ACC in rushing yards per game.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. Run it down their throat.
Run the ball. Yeah, Haynes King had 107 rushing yards last week in the win over North Carolina. Obviously, they win on the 68-yarder, and they take pride in their running ability. I wonder, and we talked about this at the NFL level, a valuable backup and a tested backup is extremely valuable in football. College level as well. You like to have 2 guys in the room that you can feel confident. You don't have to change the entire playbook for when they come in. Obviously,
And
Georgia
that
Tech-
pretty much defines
Yeah.
Haynes King and Zach Byron. They are plug and play with this playbook at Georgia Tech. Obviously, Haynes King can throw the football more. Zach Byron has thrown 7 passes this season in total. And we're halfway through. It's a little more than 1 pass per game. But,
It's like the Falcons sack rate at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
But this is a team that runs the football.
Yeah.
What is the forward pass? The forward pass is apparently an abomination to this team, which is a very interesting thing for the team with John Heisman in their backstory the guy who basically invented it. He's probably rolling over in his grave at this playbook.
This is the spotlight game too. You know, at the Benz.
At the Benz against Notre Dame.
is always a spotlight. They have a large traveling base, alumni base. There's a tension on this. If you're Georgia Tech, and I know the line here was a little bit larger when we did Sports Tonight earlier in the week. The ability to run the ball always gives you the opportunity to control game script, control opportunities, shrink the clock. And you can always play, if you can put that identity on the game, you always have a shot to win. Run the ball and play defense. That's as old school as it gets, words to Johnny Heisman, huh?
And, you know, this is a Notre Dame team that did lose to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have looked fantastic in their following 5 games. They have cruised to 5 victories. But this is a team that can lose.
Yeah.
Current spread is Notre Dame by 2 scores.
Oof, that's grown. That's a lot of points. I think I'm taking the points there.
I think Tech covers this one. I think 14 is a little bit too much because this Tech team is 5-2. I think they're better than most people expected them to be this season. They are no longer the doormat of the ACC. And, you know, they might have a shot at the championship game.
Wow, confident in that, huh? Stand on that. Don't whisper that through. You got to stand on that.
I'm not saying that that Georgia Tech is going to make it to Charlotte. I'm telling you, there's a chance.
Okay, that's all we need. Hope. Hope springs eternal.
So, I mean,
you got to win this one.
You got to win this one.
You got to win this one. Absolutely.
But I also don't put it out of reach for the Yellow Jackets to win this one.
Remember when we thought that Florida State win was impressive? And we were like, oh, man. They went over to Ireland and they stunned Florida State. And now 2 months later, we're like, oh, my God. They need another resume building win.
And, you know, a win over this Notre Dame team would definitely be a resume builder
absolutely.
For the Yellow Jackets. All right, something we do every Friday on Sports Tonight.
I'm nervous for this.
Question of the week. Normally, this is Bailey throwing me the question. However, Bailey is in Austin, Texas, covering Georgia, Texas, so I had to come up with the question. We both went to Mizzou.
Ooh.
What is the one thing you missed most about Columbia?
This isn't easy. It's kind of sappy, though. But it's like, you know, being around your friends. Like that, the ability to just like, drive down the street and like one of my good buddies that I grew up with is over here. And then somebody else is down the hall. And like I had 3 roommates at the time that were like, we just went to his wedding. Like it just, a lot of the college stuff, and I tell like prospective journalists all the time, like, you know, just enjoy the moment. Enjoy being around people because that time you can't really replicate that or get that back. The food is obviously great as well. Love CJ's, love Gumby's.
CJ's, my beloved.
El Rancho is fire as well.
Oh my God, El Rancho. We do not need to talk about the stories behind my El Rancho visits, okay?
Legendary. I will go there
We're
for
not
lunch.
going to go there.
I will go there just for regular lunch. I know a lot of people go there after the bars let out, but I will just go there for a regular, you know, casual 2 p.m.
Were you around when Soul Taco was a thing?
I was, yes.
Broadway and Hit?
Yes, I was in there. Because didn't they share with a donut shop?
Yes, with Strange Donuts, I think.
Yes, that was a dangerous combination, to say the least.
Yeah, obviously we're just reminiscing about college at this point.
For me, it's homecoming weekend.
It's homecoming weekend.
Yeah, there we go.
It's, I'm not going. I do have a bunch of friends who do go every year. And because, homecoming is a huge thing for Mizzou.
Oh, yeah.
College claims to have invented it. Whether or not they did.
I think ESPN published something this week that said the contrary, but we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. ESPN is
what do they know?
A disreputable source as to that. For me, it's got to be true false. I'm sorry. I'm a movie nerd.
I never went.
I went every year that I was at Mizzou.
Awesome.
If you don't know what True False is, the True False Film Festival is an all-documentary film festival that basically takes over Columbia for a weekend. I was lucky enough to live on 9th Street in
Oh, wow.
2019. On the stretch with the Missouri Theater, so they closed off the street and turned it into one massive art installation. Which
It's a big deal. This is a big deal. True Falls
huge
is a
deal in
huge
Columbia.
deal.
You
Yeah.
get filmmakers and visitors from all over the world. It's one of the world-class events in the middle of Missouri.
It's just out of this is wild. Do you have a favorite film that you saw, or one that maybe stood
One
out
that
to
will be
you?
burned into my mind
Okay.
is a film called Tickled. It aired at True Falls 2016. It is about professional competitive tickling.
Interesting.
And it takes quite a turn, because even the screenings at True Falls became part of the story. Because one screening had to get stopped because a private investigator was filming it.
Oh my goodness.
And later in the festival, the director, who was there in Columbia, was walking down 9th Street and got served.
Oh wow. This was a living, breathing
It
documentary.
was very much a living, breathing documentary,
Oh, my
and it was
goodness.
and the director, David Ferrier, super nice guy. I've had the opportunity to talk to him. Does these weird, wild, competitive endurance tickling. Just doesn't
Wow.
sound like an interesting topic for a documentary, and then it takes like 3 left turns and becomes something entirely different. And
I'm looking this up. I'm going on Netflix. I'm
it's-
looking for this.
It's just such a fun movie, and just being there for like part of the story was just so
Wow.
cool to me.
Hopefully they give you a credit. You give me a credit.
All right, send us home. What is on your mind?
Oh, Ellie, I went to the Usher show last night. State Farm Arena. Usher is doing 4 nights here to make up for the ones that got postponed from before. He also has 3 nights in December. Great show. Rollerblades were amazing. Did all the classic hits. Had like Bedazzled, Braves, Usher themed. Like everything that you think an Usher show is, it was. I had nosebleed seats. I was sitting absolutely with God, but it was a beautiful atmosphere. It was a beautiful evening. I saw him. This is a slight flex. I saw him at the Super Bowl earlier this year. But seeing him at this show was better, obviously, because it was longer and he had the full run out. But yeah, my second Usher show of the year was yesterday. That's what's on my mind.
What's on my mind? Game 4 of the WNBA Finals.
Oh yeah, what a series that's been.
This has been such a fun series. I harped on this yesterday. Just 3 great games of basketball. If you're not watching, you've been missing out. Games at 8 o'clock in Minnesota between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. New York Liberty on the verge of their very first championship, and just, I want this to go to 5 as a basketball fan, because this series has just been so fun.
Yeah, that comeback in game 1. I didn't know if New York was going to be able to come back from that, and here they get the next 2. Sabrina hits the shot yesterday.
Oh my God,
That was
Sabrina
just,
hitting the shot in game 3, just an absolute beauty. A 3 from the logo was never not going in. It was one of those moments where, the basketball gods themselves went, yes, we live for the drama. Oh my God, it's been such a dramatic series. And
So if you have it going 5, that means you have Minnesota winning at
Minnesota
home.
winning
this next-
tonight
okay.
at home.
All right.
Before going back to Brooklyn over the weekend for Game 5. I wanted to have him just as a basketball fan, because this has been such good basketball that I just want more. I
Yeah.
just want more.
Nafisha Collier's been balling too. Most points ever in a single postseason for an for a W player. It's been just stellar.
Yes.
Way better than some of the series that we saw on the NBA side. It's been fun to watch. I like the 5 prediction. I don't hate that. I would like to see 5 as well.
All right, we're running out of time. For Aaron Ladd, I'm Ellie Parker. This has been ANF Plus Sports Tonight.
Happy Friday, y'all.
Go watch some sports.